Okay, so this video we're going to try to talk a little bit about review for the upcoming test on Chapter 5, which is all the trig identities and equations. Um, on day one, particularly I'm speaking to 2025 class, on day one we're going to have a graphing calculator section, 3 or 4 questions where you'll find max, min, zeros, or solutions, I guess. You'll solve equations with your calculator, graphing calculator, and you'll round to 3 decimal places, and you may find an intersection as well. You might have to adjust the window. So these are some problems that I would recommend you doing. I think the star probably means it's a tough problem, so watch out. The odds will be in the back of the book, those answers, and if you email me, I can give you the other answers. But if you try these, I guess 7, 8 problems, um, then you should be well prepared. The things that you're trying to be able to do are basically use a calculator. You're trying to be able to know how to type in secant and sine squared and things like that. You want to know how to find zeros, find a max, a min, adjust the window correctly, and find an intersection point. Everything else is going to be part two, and that's the real bulk of the test. Um, so this should be in Google Classroom for you. You should be able to find this pretty easily. The schedule might get bumped back a day, but we were going to take the calculator section, which is short, like 10 minutes or so. So we're going to review for 10 minutes, then take the calculator section. That would take a total of 20 minutes, and then have another 30 or so to review for the main part of the test. Same for G, kind of a similar situation. Okay, so that is what we're talking about. So those are something to look over. But in addition, what we're going to do on this video is just kind of review some of the non-calculator stuff that we're going to have to do. So if we were going to write this as a sine, a cosine, or a tangent, you can see, just make sure our recording's going all right. Okay. You can see that if you can recognize this as any of these formulas, that would be great. So here I can kind of see it. There it is. So 2 sine of theta, cosine of theta. These are the formulas you'll be given. Everything that you're looking at here. So this basically equals sine of 200 degrees. Pretty much just like regurgitating that from a formula, looking until you find the formula that fits. Okay? So what I'll try to do with these is I'll try to pause these in real time. I don't know if yeah, there's the work. I'll try to pause these, or actually not pause these. I'll try to just like run this in real time so that um, you can try it, and then we'll do it together. So the video will be a little long, but if you could try to simplify this. That'd be great. I'm guessing you want a monomial denominator. So go ahead and think about what you would do, and I'll give you a little time to get started, and then I'll just kind of be writing. So again, you're trying to do this, and I'm just going to write. I'm not going to talk in just a moment. If you just look at your paper, then you'll be able to kind of ignore what I'm doing up here. Okay, so I don't love the direction this is going because I haven't gotten this down to one term. I know I could try to multiply by this conjugate, but it's going to get messier and messier. So because I'm failing right now, I'm going to try to change this to sine and cosines and see if that helps. So this is take 2. Okay, so again, we don't always change to sines and cosines right away, but in this case, it wasn't working. What I thought was going to work was not working. So we need to change the sine and cosines, try our common denominators, and then we actually get a lot of cancellation when we flip and take the reciprocal. So again, that wouldn't be our first option, but once I saw that it was going poorly here, we didn't get something that could just be swapped out, we didn't get a quick cancel right away. I saw it was going to get messier if I try to change the top. So I just changed the sine and cosines. It worked. Okay, so let's try this one then. Okay. So they have a +1 there, which I don't really love. I think this is going to come into play at some point. Okay. Let's try this one. Is it an identity? Now remember, you can always go back and pause this and do this at your own pace. Let's see what we got for this one. So is it an identity, it says. So sign. Definitely not seeming like it's going to be an identity. No cancellation here. I'm thinking no. I don't think I'll do this to you on the actual test. There you go. Let's try the next one. That was nice and straightforward. So this says verify, so it should actually come out equal. I started doing this work, but then I realized that like this is going to be in 2 terms. So what I thought was maybe I should just break this into 2 terms. Kind of sneaky. But when you see that the answer is 2 terms and not 1, and a lot of times we want to get the answer to 1 term, that's when I saw that I should maybe make the left side into 2 terms. So I was like, oh, well, this is 2 terms. Maybe I should make this into 2 terms. Now this one's 1 term, so now I think that I probably should try and multiply the bottom. But this is again making me think of that problem earlier where we changed to sines and cosines. You see how the bottom and the top both seem to be kind of messy? doesn't seem that if I multiply by the conjugate, so this is almost like a disguise, like a trick. You'd think you could multiply by the conjugate here, but it won't be great. It may not work. So what I think is I'm going to try to change the sines and cosines. That's my first option, I think. So that also worked. Which is a solution? How about this one? Another sneaky one. I kind of like it. N is an integer. Know that some of these review problems might be a little tougher than what I'm expecting to ask you, but some would probably be appropriate. I think if you stared at this long enough, you'd probably see that this can be changed into this, and maybe you'd recognize secant of 2, secant of x equals 2 from your trig quizzes. But if you reciprocal secant and you reciprocal 2, you would get that. So you could also have 1 over cosine of x equals 2, 2 cosine of x equals 1. All right, the next one. This one got factored for you, so something was cut off on that one, so let's just leave it with that. Okay, so now to those like odd sum and difference ones and things like that. So let's bring that sheet of identities that we're going to have. Okay. That one, I think. I want to skip this problem because I think there may be some information missing. So before I mislead you, I just want to skip it to be safe. This one says use a sum and difference identity. So let's just erase this stuff. So how do we want to do this? We could say 2 pi over 12 is pi over 6. 3 pi over 12 is pi over 4, and 4 pi over 12. So I would like to do these two. So I would say I'm doing cosine of There we go. They use subtraction, which you don't need to do, but can. And then it just might be wise, so to check out the chapter review and the chapter test. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it. That was way more than long enough. And we'll talk soon.